I'm Lawanda.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are here to discuss the American Black Film Festival. It has been running all November long, and this year it is virtual. So this is a big change from previous years where it's in person, and in this, it's pretty much a very big event where a lot of Black creatives come together and they showcase their work. But this year it's virtual, and that means that we all have the pleasure of being able to view a lot of the content completely free of charge. So that's a nice treat this year. If you guys hang tight, we'll go ahead and get started discussing some of our favorites. Back. Like I said, we are discussing the American Black Film Festival. It is a slew of content made by Black creators, and it is all hosted on the site ABFFPLAY.com, and you can register and sign up for an account, and then you have access free of charge to all of this great content. And so a couple of things that I'll say is that there are different categories of work. So you can watch the long form films. Then there are also short versions where there are clips that are like 20 minutes or less. They even have some that are 10 minutes or less. And they also have a web series category. And then there is another one that showcases some of the newcomers to the field. So a host of videos to watch, and I suggest you guys please check it out. Do you guys want to get started with some of your favorites?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tiff, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I had the pleasure of watching a short film called Artistic, and it was written and directed by Nina Lee, and one of the stars of the movies is Marshawn Lynch, who is an ex NFL player, Super Bowl champ, played for Seattle Seahawks, and Pro Bowler. And he's a creative, but he's also a drug dealer. And apparently he used to date a young lady whose little sister has Down syndrome. And he basically coaxes the young lady into selling drugs. And then when the young lady realizes that she's been duped, she flushes the drugs down the toilet. And it leaves him in a very precarious situation, to say the least. And the way it ends, basically, when he realizes that the young lady has flushed the drugs down the toilet, he sends her away. He gives her a letter to give to his ex-girlfriend and says, listen, we need to get out of Dodge. We need to meet at 7:00. You know, my life is on the line. And so at how it ends, we pretty much see a guy showing up to the house with the shotgun. And then you hear a piece of glass breaking in the background. So it ends, it's ambiguous because you don't know, okay, did he make it? You know, he's in the house. I was watching with my son, and he said he thinks that he made it. He said, I think the glass breaking was him breaking the window and him getting out of Dodge. So it leaves you to guess what happened to him and whether he made it or not. But the movie, it was a good short movie. It was produced by Hillman Grad, executive produced by Lena Waithe. You know, we've had Lena Waithe on our show before and stuff. So it was very well done.
Nice. Shout out to Lena and Marshawn.
Yeah. That was a good one too, because when she put the money up to her ear, I was like, I about died. It was so funny. That was a good one. It's a really good one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Lawanda, do you want to take it from here and tell us about your favorite?
Yeah, one of my I would say they're all my favorites, so it's really hard to choose. I'm like a festival geek, and so I love going to festivals because you get to see films that you may or may not see anywhere, because this is their time to shine, to get distribution, so they can either become a theatrical release or you'll see them on a platform. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So I want to see everything just in case, because you never know, right? And so I looked at one of the narrative features, No Running. It was really, really good. It was directed by Delmar Washington and written by Tucker Washington. And it starred Skyland, I want to make sure I get his name right. Skyland Brooks. You're going to see him all over the place. You've already seen him in a lot of different things. And Rutina Wesley, who we know from Queen Sugar. She plays Nova on Queen Sugar, and also True Blood. And so this film is about this high school student. He's living with his mom and his sister, and they've moved in with an in-law, an aunt by marriage. To stay because the mom is having some issues with the husband. And so they move into this sleepy little town, and, they're not necessarily friendly to Black people there. I would say that. I think I'd be safe in saying that. But it also has this supernatural feel, because he has a classmate that disappears, and they all want to blame it on him when they know that there are some other extraterrestrial events happening in this little town, and it's a whole big cover up. So it's a really, really good film. It's kind of intense, but it also really shows his acting ability, because this is almost like his lead role, and it's not the first one he's had. If you're familiar with Skyland Brooks, he also starred in The Inevitable Defeat of Mr. and Pete, which was really, really good. He was on The Get Down and also Crown Heights, and so he's one to watch. And in addition to that narrative feature, he's also in another entry in the New Voices category, which is a short film called Cherry Lemonade. And he stars in this, and I want to make sure I get this right. He starts in this with Eris Baker, who is on This Is Us. So the young people are really shining in this. And that short is called Cherry Lemonade, and it's basically—
That was cute. I saw that too.
It was good. It was like a brother trying to teach his sister some lessons, right? And we're thankful it didn't get out of hand, but I think she got the point after this. And so that's one I think everyone should check out.
Okay, awesome. And now I'm going to throw it to Ron. Ron, let us know about your favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to keep with the supernatural experience, as we've been talking about. A Message from Brianna. Now, most of the time, I usually measure horror films by The Exorcist. This wasn't quite The Exorcist, but I can say it is well worth sitting down and watching. It's about an hour long, so it's not a 20-minute short, but I guarantee you will enjoy every hour. It's directed by Deshaun Hardy, who's widely known from his films, The Lake on Clinton Road, which yielded a worldwide distribution with an independent film distributor, Gravitas Venture. It also stars Vernon Davis, who is the actor, executive producer. He plays as Leonard, and his counterpart is Asia Epperson. She plays Kathy. Now, Asia is known for Straight Outta Compton and also the hit series Greenleaf. And little Asia, or rather Leanna Christina Mayer Raynock, she plays the 3-year-old daughter. Now, basically, Leonard Taylor and his wife, they're thrilled to move into this home on a rural road, and the home was previously owned by Leonard's grandfather. And, it's a place where you would want to raise a 3-year-old daughter. But things start to change in the middle of the night. The little girl becomes possessed by this supernatural spirit, and she starts doing little things at night that really begins to upset the parents, and the parents begin to they start blaming one another as to what's going on with the little girl. It ends in a fashion that isn't typical of a Black woman. She leaves the little girl at the steps of a church, and they try to run away. But later on in the movie, you see that you can't run from a spirit. And so it really has an interesting ending that you want to stay the whole hour and see.
That's a good one. It's scary though, so I was like, I don't know, I don't deal with the horror, but from what you're saying, it does sound interesting.
Yeah, it's not the blood and guts type of horror film that you might see all the time, I think it was done pretty well, and the acting was also pretty well. You will enjoy it if you sit and watch it. I think that you'll get a laugh out of it at some points, but overall it was well done. Very good B-roll, and so I think it's one to watch.
Okay. Well, now I guess I will go ahead and tell you guys one of my favorites. There were many, but one of the ones that I really enjoyed was Wouldn't Mean Nothing.
Yeah.
And this was written, directed, and stars Mac Wilds, produced by Greg Calley and Gaviad Joseph. And so this is a short. It's about 14 minutes long, I believe. And it was about a gentleman. He is a writer, and he previously had some success, but he's kind of have been like writer's block, and he hasn't been able to produce in 2 years. And so he's been struggling trying to get out of this rut. And it happens to be that this rut he's experiencing also coincides with a breakup, because he also broke up with the love of his life about 2 years ago as well. And so his friend Jordan has coaxed him out of the house and is forcing him on this blind date. And so it's a blind double date. So Jordan is out with him on a date as well. And it's the 4 of them together having these awkward conversations. And Mac Wild's character's name is Les. He's basically aloof, not present at all mentally for the double date. And his date is kind of irritated with the fact that he's not really paying much attention to her. So they start having this conversation about the best sex they've ever had, and each one is telling their experience. And Mac Wild's character, Les, kind of tops it all off by saying, you know, his best experience was outside in Paris under the rain, you know, in the Eiffel Tower. And so it's kind of hard to top. But, you know, as they're discussing this, his ex-girlfriend, the one who left him heartbroken, and who is also played by the gorgeous Shannon Thornton from P-Valley, she comes in and kind of interrupts their conversation and like, hey, how are you doing? Just trying to catch up. And it's very awkward for him because here, you know, Les is out on a double date and his, you know, ex shows up. And so he's stuck between these 2 women. And the women are also not really feeling the fact that not Shannon, that's her real name, but her character came over there and interrupted their date. So she gets asked the same question by the ladies. They're trying to bait her into, you know, dropping some details. And basically, I'm not going to give the whole thing away because I want you guys to go watch it, but she gives them the wrong answer. This is not the answer they're looking for, but she ends up very craftily, you know, revealing that it actually is her who is the ex. And I thought it was just a really cute story. And I really loved the way it was done. Acting was great. It even had some humor in there. So I did thoroughly enjoy that one. I want you guys to make sure you check that one out. It was called Wouldn't Mean Nothing. And I think we might also have some honorable mentions. If you guys want to throw out any others that were honorable mentions that you think are worthwhile for our fans or our spotters to check out.
Oh, wow. I don't know if this list would stop. No, they're really good because they have films from all over. They have international films in competition. Even in the New Voices category, they have films from Ghana. They have a film from the UK. And the films, even from the US, are so diverse that the voices, the narratives are so new. It's very, I think you use this word that is refreshing, that these are not the same kind of, I don't want to say tired, but typical. Yes. Stories that we hear. So I think the piece is really good. That's where these 2 brothers, they have an OG that tells them they have to go in this diner and retrieve a gun that he left in there. But the catch is there are cops in there and people. And so the way that film is shot, the way it's, and I'm not good with the technicals, but I don't know if it's one camera, but it's just following the action between the patrons, the staff that works there, them going inside and out, because it's obvious that one of the waitresses must have lost a loved one due to some police violence. And then those police are sitting there in the same diner where she works. That was one that was really, really, really gritty, but the way the story is told, I think people would love that. And, you know, it's new voices. So these are going to be the writers, directors, and the new actresses and actors to watch.
Yep.
And I'm glad you mentioned the camera angles and the things that they use to enhance the imagery in American Black Film Festival. These were very well done imagery and camera directing. So hats off to the producers and directors, because they knew what they were doing.
I agree. I definitely think that there was a lot of Black talent. I love seeing Black talent showcased with Black excellency. And like you mentioned, Lawanda, from, you know, all countries, you know, across different continents. I remember looking at one in particular. It seemed like it was based in the UK. And that one was called The Last Days. And I thought that that was a very refreshing story, because I don't think I've ever heard this particular plot line. And basically what it is there's this lady, and she is basically, you know, your death day. So people are, you know, told in advance when they're going to die. And she was given 5 years previously, but all of a sudden they have rushed her date, and it's in the present tense of the film. It's that same day. So she's set to die that day, and it's kind of like out of nowhere. And there's this sense of injustice throughout the short, because you can tell that a lot of times, you know, people of color get the short end of the stick. And so they're trying to protest the decision. And it just takes you through that whole rush of emotions to, you know, I just thought about that, like, wow, what if you knew when you were going to die, and then all of a sudden they rushed it up on you? So that one I thought was a very interesting take on that story. Did you guys have any others that you wanted to mention? I know, Ron, you talked about Cracked. That was another one that I enjoyed as well.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a movie short that it really touched me. You know, I don't want to give up I want you guys to actually go and watch these movies.
Yeah.
But I think it's one that you're going to say, this was just way too short.
Yeah,
that movie was good, and that actually was one of the ones that had like a Spike Lee grant too.
Yeah.
And when you start talking about the camera angles and everything, I was like, that's why it was real well done.
Yeah, I thought the way they introduced the characters, because, you know, you think about screenwriting, they say show it, don't tell it. And so nobody tells you how many sisters and brothers she has. It's just they keep popping in and out. And so you get that sense of, you know, that this family, all these children, there's love there, but there's also a secret there, and it's very gripping. So yeah, that one was very well done.
It was well done. It was well done. I have an honorable mention, Mass Avenue. And I like that one too, especially because, you know, some of us are located in the DMV, and that one was about a father and son from Sierra Leone, and there's a generational divide, and the son accompanies the father on a landscaping job. And, you know, during the course of that day, you know, there's a little bit of tension between the father and son, because, you know, the son has a different viewpoint on life. You know, I think even his father's from Sierra Leone, and the son is, you know, probably American born, and the age difference. So he's an artist, and the father really wants to focus on hard work, and he has very like traditional values, and they go to do landscaping in this particular house. And it's in a affluent neighborhood, majority white neighborhood. And the father says several times during the movie that he's been going and doing this house since like the 80s, and that the owner of the house, typically she was away, and she asked him to start up her car, and she had a Benz or something in the driveway, and he had been doing this for years. Well, of course, when they go and do the landscaping and he goes to turn the car on, one of the neighbors, conveniently one of the white neighbors, is poking around and just observing, and it ends up calling the police on the father. and on the father and son. And so the police come, guns drawn, you know, but I was happy to see that this did not have a tragic ending that we're used to seeing. That sometimes it ends badly for the father and son. And it was because, you know, the father was going off and saying, oh, I've been coming here since I was 80, and he was getting really hyped. And the son was like, look, Mom, Dad, calm down, calm down. And he was able to explain to the cops, listen, he's upset. We're just landscapers, da, 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 da. And fortunately, the cops did hear them out. And so on the way home, the son was just saying to the father, like, hey, this is a different time. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, had you not been so agitated, this could have gone another way. And I was just, I was moved by that, especially in light of everything that we see in the news with our folks and police brutality and stuff. And it just impressed upon me the importance of this festival, American Black Film Festival, and the importance of Black storytellers, so we can tell our stories. When we have the power of the pen, we can write a different ending, because we've seen that ending so often with where the father and son could have been shot dead or whatever. But instead, the writer of this project chose to allow the son to interject and stop it before it can even happen. So I appreciate, that outcome.
Okay. Well, I just want to mention that, please go to the website, register so that you all can watch these films as well. Like we said, this is Black talent showcased on a high level. And of course, this festival, sometimes these films don't get to get widespread distribution. This might be the only place that you see them. Yeah. And so it's there's something special about that too, and it being so exclusive, and so you don't want to miss out. Like I said, it's been running all November long, and it's set to end at the end of November, so you got a few more days to check out. And like I said, a lot of these are shorts, and so you'll get some that are 10 minutes or less or 20 minutes or less, so you can watch several of them back to back, just binge through them. And even the longer ones, it's Thanksgiving, you got the day off. Why not? You cuddle up with your family and catch some of these films.
Yeah, can I throw out a couple of honorable mentions, just the names? Yeah. And so you have Family Time, Heartland, Hollow, Inheritance, It's Snowing in Summer, and Postmate. Those are really good ones. They also have some recorded talk events to where they interviewed. Halle Berry was the ambassador for the film festival. They also talked to the Power cast. They talked to the Best Man, a reunion. They did a tribute to John Singleton. So you can go and watch those talk events, the narratives. They have web series. Anything you want to see, the foreign language films, international films. So whatever your taste is, and you get to try out something new. So maybe you can view a film, something you may not have expected, and be pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
And one other one, Pure. It takes place, it's about a young lady who questions her sexuality. As queer, and I think that's one that you really want to see. It is heartfelt, and
that one was called Pure.
Yeah, it's called Pure. So that's another one that you want to really check out.
Mm-hmm. And while we're adding on, I'm sorry, it's so many of them. They're all so good.
Yeah, it's just good.
We could go on all night long, but I also liked A Little Closure. That one was a really good one.
That was cute.
Yes, it stars Keith Powers and Woody McLean, who I believe were also directors for the short.
Producers. I think they were
producers for the short, yes. And so it's about, a gentleman who just gets engaged, but has an untimely demise, shortly thereafter. And so he comes back through his best friend to give closure to his girl or his fiance. So that was a really cute one, and it had a lot of humor in it. There was just a ton of very fascinating films. And what I will say is, because this is the American Black Film Festival, it's all Black creatives. We keep reiterating that. But what I gauged from the whole experience was Black people are not a monolith. There's like so many different stories. There's all different genres, and it's a lot of it is stuff that is not the common, you know, it's not the same things you see on TV or in the theaters all the time. It's very refreshing to see like a different take than you're used to.
Yeah, like the documentaries we talked about, what was it, the Descendant from the Promised Land, and then the Big Chief, where they're talking about the masking Indians for the Mardi Gras Indians. That was good too. So everything, you're right, Tiara, everything.
Yeah. So I think we've kind of
Yep.
taken a little bit longer than we expected because there were so many good ones, but I hope that you all will check it out. Like I said, we'll drop the link into the description box, but it can be found on the website ABFFPLAY.com. Make sure you check it out. You know, like I said, you got Thanksgiving off, cuddle up with your loved ones and try to catch up on all of these before they go away at the end of the month. So shout out to the American Black Film Festival, and we hope that, you know, next year it'll resume in person, and hopefully we can attend that as well. So
Miami.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching. Please make sure you check out the American Black Film Festival, and make sure you subscribe to our channel as well. Click the notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post videos, and drop down in the comment section also if you have subscribed to their page and watched any of the films. We'd love to hear what you think about them. Do you guys have anything you want to add before we close?
That's it. Lots to watch.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all for watching, and have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Countdown, levitate. Going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate. On time, never late. I grind, celebrate. No pump, fake, hesitate.